Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank y'all for being here. I greatly appreciate it. And thank you for the organizers for inviting me. I appreciate their invitation. And right off the bat, if you'll notice, my legal disclaimer is a little bit different for this talk because, quite frankly, this is not a talk that I mean, I gave it once really, really bad in Germany, did slightly better in Tampa, and now this is the refined version. It's still going to be bad. You need to be warned about that. If I upset people, and I may bring up things that are uncomfortable for them to think about, or things like that, or it's like, or bring up post traumas, I apologize. It's like that is not what my intention is. But we got to discuss uncomfortable topics. If I make you angry or mad at what I say and offended by the way that I say the things, screw you. I don't care. It's like that's fine with me. I'm not trying to be confrontational. It's like because the whole thing about this talk is about rebuking the hate and stuff, not trying to cater to it. So like I said, this is an interesting talk. It may be my last talk that I give employed, but I don't care. So this is just where we're going to go from there. I think I've made it sound ominous enough. It's like, so let's just get into it. This is the title, The Imposter's Guide to Hacking with Demos, because I have a lot of demos. And I didn't put a city or country because it's the DC407, but it's virtual, so it's everywhere. And I'm Jayson E. I'm a hacker, helper, and human. If you'll notice, I am not using my regular logos or company things. That's because I don't have authorization for this talk. I don't have permission for. I had so many people that are friends and that are close to me that have told me and tried to talk me out of giving this talk. So this is no way endorsed or part of anybody or that I'm affiliated with, including DEF CON. This is just my talk. I want all the, that's the reason I put a little target on my chest there. I want all the smoke. You bring that to me. Because I'm okay with that. I don't have a problem with that. It's like, and be honest with you, it's like that's not bravado. It's like bravado. I don't know, bravado. It's like high school dropout. I'm literally nervous. I am scared. I am afraid of this talk and the repercussions that I'm going to get down the line. But that can't stop me from giving it. So that's why we're doing it. So who am I? Who cares? This is not about me talk. But a question I also often ask myself, how can a poser like me still manage to successfully rob banks, enterprises on 5 continents for over 25 years and be so bad at Kali Linux and Metasploit and Hack5 scripts and programming, et cetera, blah, 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 right? Yeah, I don't believe that I'm that great either. And I think these are great. These are like this is from February 19th. Like both of these, like clockwork, both of them came in on the same day. And I just loved it. It's like your work experience is pathetic and you're one heck of a con man. That was great. And it's like, and I was like, yeah, well, being a con man is part of my job. So, and then the next one was like, bruh, you're a fake fraud and BSer. Your LinkedIn shows nothing but fake buck companies created out of thin air. And I know what it looks like to see some barely able to keep up with today's world. Retire now, you effing dinosaur. And I'm like, just because my companies literally allow me to make up titles like chief chaos officer or chief chaos coordinator from another job, and my current job it's like chief adversarial officer. It's like all these different the companies are not, and okay, Pony Express seems really fake. And I was their titled as their infosec ranger. So yeah, that does sound sketchy AF. Okay. But that was a legit job still. But I love the fact this last one though was my favorite. It was a chef's kiss. I feel like Jayson is a fraud who's about to be exposed for being too noob to do AppSec. Just a hunch, winky face. And I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. You just don't pay attention. I've spent half my career telling people that I'm a fraud and I don't know what I'm doing and I'm too noob to do aspect. Why aren't you paying attention? It's like, seriously, do better. It's like, so yeah, so that's who I am. So I thought, hey, let's make it obviously clear and let's show a couple of things that I do to show you. Yeah, it's not that hard. I'm not saying I'm the technical genius. I'm not this super duper hacker genius dude breaking into the Gibsons. One of the things that I do is I use an OMG cable. I got an MG cable. It's like, you know, I've got a little OMG cable. I've got the USB data blocker you see there to give assurances. I've got the different cables, the adapters. Hack5 Darren is an amazing man. It's like he helped me out with one of the other devices I didn't have. And I'm not a spokesperson. I'm just a person who doesn't have that much technical talent, and I need the help of different gadgets to make me look cool. But what I did with the gadget is what counts. That's what counts. I used the OMG cable with my hearing aids. And so when I would go up to a receptionist or an executive assistant or something like that in a suit, I would go up to them. Those are real hearing aids. And I would go to the, excuse me, my hearing aids need charging. Can I charge your hearing aids, my hearing aids, at your desk so I can hear at the meeting? I can't use the direct power. It's too big. The voltage is too high. Can I please just plug into the computer? And what inhuman monster is going to tell me no? The right ones. And I've had them tell me no, which I think is amazing. And that's awesome. But I took the technology and like a hacker, I made it do something else. I took something that was innocuous, something that looked innocent, like hearing aids, and I made it more trustworthy while I put something malicious on it. That's the hack, not the actual payload that's on the device. It was how I executed it. That's also hacking. We forget hacking doesn't have anything to do with computers. So, and now we got another one. I love drones. I don't like operating them because I don't operate them very well. But when I fly drones, that means flying them straight up in the air, doing the circle, and then bringing them straight down. The one cool hack that I have on my drones is that I bought software from this really cool German guy on the internet, which, you know, always works out well, and hacked my drone so it disregards no fly zones or height restrictions. It's really nice software. And so, but what I did with the drone, because, you know, you get all these people talking about like, oh, we're hacking with drones. It's like, oh, we're doing all, and you see some really cool things that hackers and pen testers and red teamers are doing with drones. And I don't do that. What I do is I take my drone and I take the software that my friend Philippe, you know, I call him Titan because his name's Titan, but he's French, so I say it with Titan because it makes it sound cool. It's funny, trust me. And so I had him create software for me because that guy is one of the scariest, nicest hackers you don't know about. Because he's not very big on socials. He's too busy doing that being successful at his job. So he doesn't have time for a lot of the social stuff. He's putting in work. And he literally created some software, which was all it would do is it goes and it works on and executes on a micro SD card. So I put that software, and it looks like a movie file, and it's got the extension of a movie file on it. And I put that and a DOCX file that says pilot information and drone serial number document. And those are the only two files, that DJI file, video file, and the documentation. And surprise, you click on both of them, you're going to have a bad day. And so the first one, but his software for the movie file was the best, because it would open up if you double clicked on it, because remember, it's about education, not exploitation. So when you clicked on that file, it's like it would open up with Rick Astley and Rick Roll'em. And then when they close that window, that command prompt right there, you have been pwned, because, that's cool. It's hacker speak. And so, and it would do that. And how did I get them to like find the things on that? I wrecked my drone. Not like wreck, but I would literally deliberately fly my drone after around 8 o'clock at night to the lobby doors or to the guard position or wherever I saw a guard. I would crash my drone. So what would they do? Human curiosity. They're like, oh, we got to see what's on this drone. Someone was doing something sketchy around our facility. What were they trying to get? So they go in and they plug it in through USB-C or take the micro SD card out, because that's safer. And they plug it into, what system does security usually have access to, especially the night guards? Well, they've got the computer that's their security computer with their access systems and all their security control systems, and they're going to go and look at it. And so once again, I didn't come up with a technical kind of attack vector. I didn't utilize a 0-day. It's like what I utilized was, once again, human nature, and taking something that everybody thinks is one thing and trying to make it something else. And that's what delivers the payload. I get the people to actually help me with it. Now, this is a really good example, because this is really super props, because I'm using software that was provided to me to do some vishing calls. And I've never hardly done vishing calls before. So these aren't the same kind of vishing calls that you normally do. But this is one that's also new for me, where I had to actually try to assume the identities of these users. And I was like, ooh, okay, that's not going to be fun. So what I did was using YouTube with my hacker help playlist, which has background noise of hospitals and cars and office spaces and clubs and kids playing and kids crying, all those different kinds of background noise. I called some people, but first we're going to go with the first one that's just a general one. And we're going to hear how I talk to this person to try to get a password reset.
This back to the cat dog temp password user. You don't have access to your email, right?
Not right now, not until I get everything back up. I mean, the doctor said that the chemo was going to mess with my memory, but I just didn't know it was going to be this bad.
I gotcha. I apologize about that. I'm sure we can get this figured out for you.
I do appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem. Anything else we can do for you?
That'll be it. That's all I needed right now.
And if you're thinking, that's horrible, remember the kittens, and you are correct. That was horrible. But it's not all that kind of stuff. And I'm not appropriating cancer. I've had cancer before. So it's like, it's not like I'm trying to take on something that's not mine. So now we go to the next one. And this one was sort of funny, because I was tasked with trying to reset a woman's account. So I assumed the identity of her husband. And then I also added like 30 or 40 years to how old he really is, to try to get them to do the password reset. And I said that we were in the hospital because my son-in-law didn't de-ice the stairs and my wife fell down the stairs and broke her hip and jaw, and she's in the hospital now for care. Let's see how that one went.
Sorry about the holdup on this. I'm working with someone as to what we can do. Because I'm not going to lie, Wayne, we are, like, really out of options. Like, there's not very many avenues here.
Well, I thought it would just be a simple thing to just get that reset so I could get in. I mean, it's not like I'm trying to log into Fort Knox or something.
Right. That being said, there still is, like, there's rules and regulation with that, and I still have to follow it.
Well, I understand that, but it's like, that's the reason why I own my own company, because usually I'm the one that's like saying this is the way we're supposed to do stuff, and I'm not saying I'm special and I need exceptions, but I'm just saying that this is an exception because, I mean, no one expected her to fall like that. And I'm not trying to raise my voice at you, son. It's like I'm just.
Oh, you're okay.
I'm just.
I can understand the frustration because this is like a very, very specifically.
So, as you can hear, I don't know if you could totally hear in the background noise of the machine going beep beep beep. I literally had a nurse supposedly walk in and start because I was too handling it. And I will have to, and this is one of the key things that we need to do more in our industry when we're giving talks about exploits and hacks and how we've done something. Huge prop to that desktop support person. He was on the phone for 40 minutes listening to me like that, saying, I don't know, I need to use the Googles. I don't know where to go. I see this. I was like, my son-in-law's computer, like, and he burned a turkey one time. Literally, this guy had the patience of a saint. He was polite. He was kind. He was helpful throughout the 40 minutes of this call up until the end of the 40 minutes. And even till then, when he had to politely let me know, I cannot do what you request because I'm following security policies, and that is not allowed. And I will not circumvent the security policies, even though this is a dire situation for you. Amazing. If you're a red teamer and you're not excited and celebrating when your clients' employees do the right thing, you suck. It's like, because that's what your job is supposed to do. Your job's not there to break the stuff. Your job's not there to find vulnerabilities. Your job's there to validate their security and also give them a comprehensive report when they need to make improvements, and make those reports such a way that management takes them seriously and corrects them, because they're getting broken into all the time from all over the world, every day, every hour. They're paying you for the effing report. So that's your job. So I celebrate every single time my clients do great. Now, there we go. How do I get all these shells? How do I do all these really cool, a credit card, sometimes discounts. I use hack5.org and I use amazon.com. It's like, also, I don't want to be like, just saying use, Bezos' site or anything like that. You can go to Temu, or you can go to Alibaba, or you can go and find some stuff on eBay. It's like, it's everywhere. Go to DEF CON, find some stuff on the floor. Make sure you bring cash. And then I look at a YouTube tutorial, because I'm not inherently a genius, smart person. Like, I can adopt to everything. I have to learn. I have to go through it. I have to see how it works. I have to screw up a whole bunch of times, and then I get it working. And then awesome. So what makes a hacker? It's like, I still call myself a hacker, the audacity, right? And that's because it's not about the computer. We have gotten so locked in that computers equal hacking. We don't remember what hacking is. Leonardo da Vinci was an Uber hacker. He created scuba gear in the Middle Ages. It's like he created a flying machine in the Middle Ages. It's like, to be fair though, Ibrahim, it's like who was a Muslim inventor in what is now Spain. It's like he flew 300 years before Da Vinci. The landing wasn't as great. He broke his back, but he was sustained flight for 10 minutes. He wasn't just falling with style. So that's important to note as well. That's hacking. Hedley Lamar, the worst insult you can give that woman is to call her an actress first and not a hacker first, because she's the reason why we have Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. She worked on the technology and the channel hopping for torpedoes during World War II and the Navy. I mean, of course, they didn't adopt it until she got a man to help, mansplain it to them and take some responsibility for it. So they would like pay attention to what she was saying and doing, but they got to it. So that's hacking. And this picture is from IT Defense, a great conference in Germany. My friend Jafsek, Edwin Van Andel, who was talking about one of his hackers who literally, he's a vulnerability researcher. He's like he does all this work in finding vulnerabilities, bug hunting, breaking into systems, but his hobby is chemicals. Not just the recreational chemicals, okay? Chemicals. Like, look, he created a patent for L-Dopa HCI nasal spray for enhanced bioavailability and Parkinson's disease treatment. As a hobby. That's hacking. What's his name, Jason? I want to know. I don't remember. You know why? Because he's not on stage. He's behind scenes doing the work. Having an audience doesn't equal having talent. I've got an audience, okay? We've established having an audience doesn't equal having talent, okay? And look at these people. This is not a well thought out, curated list of people or recommendations. These are just random people that I know that do amazing work, but probably hardly anybody knows who they are. It's like you've got Thomas, who freaking does all kinds of like really spooky stuff that he's not allowed to talk about. Elizabeth Warden, who works with the law. You've got Vic. She goes out and she holds B-sides, was it Baskervilles or something like that? It's an English word. It's like they don't know how to speak American very well. But my friend Stefan, it's like he's a voluntary fire department fighter. Don't let that picture. He hacks yachts and other IoT devices. He's super scary. All these different people. And that's not Iceman, the guy that's responsible for making your Proxmart so awesome so you can do HID cloning. But when I was at ShmooCon and people were coming up and talking to me when I was talking to Iceman, they thought he was some guy named Tom Segura. And one guy actually said, well, if anybody was going to know, Tom Segura was going to talk to Jason, it would be you. And I'm like, this guy is more important and contributed more in real work to the community than I have. Okay. It's like, I'm the one honored to be speaking with him, not the other way around. But it's because of the audience that I look like I have stature or I have weight. No. Question everything I say. Don't take anything I say for granted. It's like no one, including myself, needs to be on a pedestal. There are no rock stars in this industry, okay? There should be a lot more roadies putting in the work And it's like, and I do know some rock stars that actually can sing and that actually do good that are also hackers, but that's not why they're rock stars. They're rock stars because they actually know how to perform. It's like, if you ever seen the Goon Band at DEF CON, Russ Rogers and all those people, those are rock stars. That's not me. Oop, oop. Hold on. There you go. PowerPoint. How does it work? So also, don't mistake opportunity for excellence. We keep thinking that there's like, oh, well, he's got all this opportunity. Oh, he's here. He's got it. Like, he's worked on it. He's done all this. It's opportunity. A lot of the stuff that the reason why I'm here is because not just being incredibly blessed, but lucky. It's like, and I put work into it. I'm not trying to degrade myself. I'm not being self-deprecating. I'm not trying to be false humility. It's like, I put a lot of work to get to where I'm at, but trust me, how many people are out there that don't have those opportunities for one reason or another, because of randomness or because of design by society. They don't have these opportunities. In the 1880s, the director of Harvard Observatory was often frustrated with his staff and supposedly said, my Scottish maid could do better. So in a petty move, and just a guy trying to like show up people and embarrass people and shame people, he made his chamber lady maid, Wilmena Fleming, the head of the department, as a humiliation for his scientist, except for the fact that she classified thousands of stars and discovered white dwarfs and nebulas, or the white horse or the Horsehead Nebula. I'm not good with stars. So that's amazing because she was given that opportunity. This gentleman, William, he wasn't given the opportunity. He made the opportunity. His village needed help. They needed turbines. They needed ways to modernize. He made that happen. The first drinking water was available to that village because of him creating the solar-powered water pump, because he got that opportunity. There are people on this planet that could hack circles around you. They could have the cure for so many diseases, so many things that they could do and develop for the world to the betterment. And they're stripping old cruise ships and tankers off the coast of Africa. Or they're stuck in a field somewhere outside of Mumbai because they don't have those opportunities. That's it. That's the only thing separating them and those creations coming to fruition, is they don't have those opportunities that we, because you're looking at this video, means you have internet. That means you have a device to see it. That means you are privileged beyond all measure on a large population on this planet that is really uncomfortable to think about. So now we're going to go to the next demo, which is a live social engineering Trojan horse attack. Because if you notice, we were talking about all the demos I did and how I hack things. And it's like the Imposter Guide to Hacking. And I decided in November, when I gave a really tragically horrible, epically cringy talk, which was not a talk, it was just a ramble, rant at B-Sides Jacksonville, which I am still embarrassed about and upset and you know, sorry that I did. I melted down on stage because of some unfortunate events that happened. And the thing is, you got to remember, I don't regret anything I say. If I make a mistake, I'll own it. But I don't regret what I say, because usually when I'm saying it, I meant it and I believe it to be right. It's like, I will take criticism. I will take direction. I will take correction. But that time I was saying things that I knew that I still stand to for this day, but I didn't do it in the right way. It wasn't the right place, and it wasn't effective enough because it was too disjointed, because I was too emotional and I didn't do it right. So I decided the biggest problem I had was I didn't have PowerPoint. So now I'm going to do a little bit of what I did there, but hopefully it sounds more like a sane person giving it, and, you know, more constructive because we've got PowerPoint. And so let's start off, because this is a wonderful hacker. You may be familiar with him. If you're not, start getting familiar with him, because he is one of the best hackers that have ever existed on this planet. He helped and worked on trying to solve a problem that when his hack was over with his life, it's like it's still out there, but not as good as it used to be, because it needs participation and it's open sourced to the community. And we forget that. So I'm here trying to help us remember what Mr. Rogers decided to, the payload that he created and what he's decided to do. I'm literally in my own room and I'm still screaming really loud like a maniac. My apologies. So we also have to notice being a hacker also means having the courage to speak out when you see something broken, plus the hacker mindset to go about fixing it and making it better for everyone. And one that hits really hard right now, all that is necessary for the triumph of evil is that good men do nothing. And I want to set the bar. I want to make it perfectly clear. I'm not in this category of these people. Dan Kaminsky, an amazing hacker that you should also know. He saved the internet. Tony Watson did as well, but he was the last one to like ultimately like save the internet, like legit, because of insecurities and DNS and like vulnerabilities. He got all the people together. He did all the proper things. He got everybody to work and helped solve the problem that he discovered and he found. And he did that. And it was amazing. Do we also mention the fact that he created an app for the colorblind? Because he could. We don't mention all the times he's reached out to people behind the scenes for encouragement and talking to them and being that inspiration for hackers everywhere. And then we have Aaron Schwartz, another amazing hacker, super successful, very well off, was very successful financially and in societally and everything like that. He saw a problem. He went about the hacker way of trying to fix it and make it better. He was hounded to death for it. Our government literally killed him, not by pulling the trigger, but driving him to the point where he couldn't exist anymore. I'm just doing a PowerPoint. I may lose my job. I'm not sacrificing like this. I'm not doing that. I don't have the courage they must have had to face the things they did to get those problems fixed. These are the people that you need to look up to and remember and never forget. So let's start talking about what I really want to talk about. And that is, I got to get one thing off my chest. It's like when I start talking about privilege, people get very rustled. They get very defensive. But I'm not saying you're guilty because you benefit from privilege. When society is designed for you not to be aware of it. We are made in a society, and I'm not talking about America. I'm talking about most of Europe and a lot of different places. And in Brazil, there is a difference between based on what a person, how light a person is to how favorable they are. I know that firsthand. And it's like, and so I'm talking about that privilege that we get that we may not be aware of because society doesn't want us to be aware of it, because if we're aware of it, we try to fix it. South Africa, apartheid had existed since the inception of that territory. But it was the acknowledgement and the recognition and the public and the worldwide acknowledgement of the injustice of it that got it changed. And so one of the ways that I want people to think about it is from this YouTube video, who does a way better job than I do of explaining it. It was very simple. A youth pastor had a whole bunch of kids line up. And he said, we are racing for $100. I will give the winner of this race $100. But even though we're all equaled on the starting line, I want to ask a couple questions. So first question, if you came from a 2-parent household, take 2 steps forward. You start there. Oh, if you never had to worry about where your next meal was coming from, take 2 steps forward. You can start there. Oh, if you never had to contribute money to your household and to your family so they could pay the bills, take 2 steps forward. And after he asked all those questions, there was no straight line anymore. People were obviously well ahead of a certain kind of group that was at the back. And then they started the race. And so people had to start farther behind. They had to work harder. And some of them smoked past a lot of the other ones, but they still lost. Because sometimes that head start's just a little bit too much to overcome. That is not anyone's fault. None of those questions was that person's responsibility. They answered those questions. That's not their fault. That was not to their benefit. That was not to their detriment. That was just where they were, how they were born. But it still impacted how they proceeded in the race and in society. And just to make it a little bit more about this hacking culture, if you had never had to worry about getting that education or where you're going to get the money for your certifications to be in this field, take 2 steps forward. If while you were going through school, you were actually encouraged by your family, encouraged by your peers at school to proceed into a field that allowed you to work on a computer, to allow you to use your brain instead of your brawn, instead of your looks, instead of your muscle, instead of your athletic ability, take 2 steps forward. Every place has something like that we need to understand that, yes, we are all racing our own race, but we also have to acknowledge that we have gotten head starts that we may not have seen, that we didn't deserve, we didn't earn. And also, we had to start backwards in a lot of places that we didn't deserve and we didn't earn. I'm a high school dropout who used to live behind a dumpster. My family was on food stamps. And I will tell you, to this day, I still have never found a better cheese than the government cheese in those gray boxes. Even though it was a block and you had to slice it yourself, those are the best grilled cheese. If the government would just make the cheese and sell it to the public, there would be no debt problem. It's literally amazing cheese, okay? I don't want to go off on the cheese, but seriously, it's like my friends made fun of me because I actually had a cheese cutter. They had to use a butter knife because, once again, I had an advantage that I didn't even realize about. It's like, so, but that was good government cheese. And so I would have been further back on that line, but I still had other advantages. We still have other advantages that we need to acknowledge, not because to make us feel guilty, but just to acknowledge that and help fix it for other people who don't. That's what hackers do. They see a problem, they try to fix it. And I'm telling you right now, I'm not qualified to talk about this issue, about what women have to go through in this industry. But me and every human on this planet are not only qualified, but required to call it out and offer help when we see someone being targeted with it. And also to continue that frame of the race. If you've never had to get a person to escort you to your hotel room at a conference because a conference goer was putting too much attention on you and giving you too much of the ick, but you felt unsafe going up to your hotel room safely, take 2 steps forward. If you never had to make sure your drink was covered when you went to a party or an after party, take 2 steps forward. If you never had to watch your tone and response to a person who was in your space making you uncomfortable because you didn't know if that person could ruin your career, ruin your reputation, or ruin your health or life, take 2 steps forward. I gave a variation of this talk, literally in Germany, that night, or was it the next morning, I get a message from a friend of mine. She spent the night in ER. This was in February. Spent the night in ER because she was roofied at a conference after party. She barely made it to her hotel room. Thank goodness. That's 2025, February. My friend Lindsay here, she and me went to a conference somewhere in the world, and she has this woman has literally run multinational financial institutions of information security. I met her in South Africa for the first time, as she was responsible for all of the continent for this bank, for their security. I've met her in Hong Kong when she was working for another international banking system. And it's like, and she was a hacker there. She was security there. She went to DEF CON before I did. She was in charge of the DEF CON Hong Kong group. She was their point of contact. She helped with I asked her to help start that group up, and she did. It's like she worked for a major energy company in the Netherlands. We go to this conference, and anytime I go and take a picture with someone that happens to be a woman, oh, is that your girlfriend? Is that the girl you're seeing? It's like, it's a hacker that was going to an effing conference to learn things. She had such a horrible experience there that I was not aware of. You asked me how that conference went. It was awesome. People were coming up to me. People were talking to me. A couple of people wanted selfies. I was having these great conversations with the organizers and some other hackers. And we were just talking about, I get back and we go to like out to eat. And she's like, that was horrible. I'm like, what are you talking about? Everything I saw was awesome. Everybody ignored me. They just assumed that I was there with you. They didn't bother knowing or asking what kind of tech I do or that I belong there. They just didn't want to have conversations with me. Some of them didn't even introduce their friends because they were so busy just introducing them to you. And I was so one-sided, which was my fault, that I didn't even clock on that. Would I have said something if I was aware of it? Yes. I did not. I get no points for that. It's not what you would do or what you think that you would try to do if you don't do it. If you're not aware and you're not being observant enough to understand what's going on around you, you don't get kudos because you would have done something. She had a horrible, miserable time. When I meet anyone at a conference, don't care what their meat robot looks like or their plumbing or attachments. My question to them is, so what do you hack on? What's the thing you like to hack? That goes to everybody because everybody's a hacker. Everybody's got something that they're interested in. You don't just assume they're there for the looks. And trust me, I am so tired of this. I was there back in the day. I know what went on in Alexis Park. And yes, I was there at some of those parties. And that's on me. That's guilt I live with. Because back then, that's the way things, and we approached it and we just thought that was cool. Like you see some movies from the 80s, you see some movies from the 90s, and you're like, why aren't those people in jail now? And that was a comedy. It's like, I don't even want to mention the title names because I'm ashamed that I thought they were funny back then. Because I didn't have consideration for others. I just saw everything from my perspective. We were never taught to consider what someone else would see. So we don't consider and put into consideration what women have to go through in this industry, what people of color have to go through in this industry, what neurodiverse people have to go through, why people that look just a little bit different or just a little bit different way, or just for some reason, not that one little form that's the okay column. If you're out of that, we don't have to consider you. I tell people it's not cancel culture, it's consideration culture. Because now you're actually going to have to be considerate and consider other people instead of just your demographic. Because that's the proper way to be a good human. It's like, that's all. And it's like, and if you've never heard why someone would choose the bear, you need to ask yourself some questions to yourself. Okay? Because that says something there. Because I guarantee you, every woman has one. So here I am ranting and talking like, oh, I'm an ally. Listen to me, preaching to the choir, talking about, whatever. This doesn't make me an ally. What I'm doing now does not make me an ally. It makes me someone screaming and on stage, professing to, believe all these things and want these things to get better. Betty White was an effing ally. In 1954, Betty White was criticized after having Arthur Duncan, a black tap dancer, on her show. White said, I'm sorry, live with it. And she gave Duncan even more airtime. She lost her show. And I love the fact that her reply when that was brought out later in her life, she was like, what can I say? I'm one badass. And she was correct. That is correct. And then look at this one with Star Trek. Come on, nerds. Star Trek, first interracial kiss. People lost their minds. Okay? I thought it was a huge statement for Star Trek. Not for Kirk. He kissed everybody. I mean, come on. It's like green, black, blue. He didn't care. That's just Kirk. Okay? But the statement that he made on that show caused them to, like, if they didn't cancel it, they were pretty close to canceling it after that. But this one's that touches me the most. In 1969, when black Americans were prevented from swimming alongside whites, Mr. Rogers decided to invite Officer Clemens to join him and cool his feet in a pool, breaking a well-known color barrier. And that was police officer Clemens, a person of authority and respect. That's who he made that character. Not a drug dealer, not a delivery person. He showed that. He lived it and he stood by it. That's what's being an ally. But let's get to my next demo. This is what I call a live social engineering privilege escalation via remote access attack. In other words, I've donated up to 10 minutes of my talk for people who don't usually have a voice or are marginalized in this community or society. Not just by gender or skin color, because come on, that's basic, okay? But also because of who they love, who they worship, where they live, how old they were when they started in our field, what field they came from before starting in this industry, etc. With no strings, agenda, or directive, etc. I don't care. I told them, I don't need you up here talking about diversity or like talking about how your experiences. If that's what you want to talk about it. Talk about your research. Talk about what's important to you. All my instructions were, I am giving you 10 minutes of my time to talk to an audience that would normally not get to hear from you. What do you want them to know about you or what you do or who you are? Because we always talk about, you see the diamond. Diamond's all pretty. Look at the pretty diamond with the reflect. You put that diamond is pretty because you're looking at all the different facets. You start looking through that diamond and you just pick one facet to see, that's a pretty distorted view, and that's not really a pretty diamond. Because then you see the flaws and you see the refractions, and you don't see anything. Our industry, our society is dependent on multiple facets, addressing and seeing problems from multiple different viewpoints and different experiences. It's that diversity that makes us stronger. And so I want to leave another thing with another little race quote, okay? Completing that race, because I forgot about doing it when I was showing the ally stuff. But I'm still going to do it. If we're all at the starting line, sort of. But I got a question. It's like, if you never had to tell your children, or as a child was never taught the lesson, meaning how they were supposed to react or how they were supposed to, what they were supposed to do and how they were supposed to talk when they were pulled over by a police officer or when they ever had to interact with law enforcement, so they would get home alive, take 2 steps forward. If you never had to have the talk with your child, or have you never had to hear the talk from your parents on why, no, you're not a bad person. Yes, I know that worker followed you through the store like you were bad or you did something wrong. Or I know the people are saying that there's something wrong with you because of the way you look, but that's not true. That's a problem with them. That's not on you. You are beautiful and wonderful just the way you are. It's like, don't let them just see this and judge you on that. If you've never had to have that talk, you can take 2 steps forward. That is how the race is designed to be run. So now let's go in to a view from a perspective possibly different than yours. This is Leslie Carhart. I asked them to give this talk, to donate my 10 minutes. They are probably way more recognized and way more accomplished than I am in this field. So it's like I'm cheating a little bit, getting them to do a talk. But this was, I didn't have enough people that I've been asking, because I know that there'll be a lot of people trying to abuse the system if I had an open system. So I have to ask people that I know or people that I've met if they're willing to do this or they know someone, so I can get these, because I'm getting a different person. Hopefully at every conference I give this talk, I'm donating this 10 minutes time. So Leslie Carhart, they were nice enough to give me a video that they wanted. If they had an audience that they normally wouldn't get to talk in front of, they wanted to say this. So let's hear it.
Hello, everyone. My name is Leslie Carhart. I think more of you probably know me as Hacks for Pancakes. and thank you for spending some time with me today. I'm normally talking to you about industrial cybersecurity and differ, but today I want to talk about something much more humbling. For the last 2 months, I have been working on becoming an immigrant and leaving the United States, which is something I never really planned on doing. I retired from the US military. I've devoted a lot of my life to being a good citizen of America and doing the best I can for its population and for my fellow citizens. However, I'm also queer. I'm non-binary. I'm not gender conforming. And on top of all of that, there's a lot of changes in society in the United States and across the world right now. And it's interesting how my knowledge of risk assessment and threat modeling is played into my decision to leave America. And I understand that a lot of you are probably cringing that I'm giving a political talk right now. Everything in life is political. But let's just talk about it from a risk assessment perspective. As an incident responder, I have to walk into spaces where crises are happening and make good gut decisions about what to do urgently. And that means being able to model risk and threats very, very well, sometimes subconsciously, and make good cognitive and unbiased decisions about what's going on. I use those same decision-making tools to make the very, very difficult decision to leave my family, sell my home, and leave the United States of America. And that's a hard thing to do impartially and do it rationally without being biased. It's very difficult to do these emotional things like lose attachments with friends and colleagues and also risk the things that you worked very hard for, like financial things and your home. However, what I came to realize after doing risk modeling about my decision was it's a smart time, given my age. Now, something a lot of you might not know about immigration is most immigration around the world, unless you're retiring as a relatively wealthy person, requires you to be under age 45, and I'm 41 years old. And things are unstable, they're unpredictable. So using my incident responder skills, what is the best option there without any feelings about, oh my God, I'm leaving my friends and family. Oh my God, it's scary. Of course it's scary. Everything's scary. Everything's scary. However, is it more smart right now to trust that things will remain stable and then not have an escape plan because I get too old? Or is it more sensible to do something relatively risky, but very thoroughly planned out, because that's what I do for a living. I plan out organizational crisis management plans. Is it better to plan out the best objective to move somewhere else and have that contingency plan? Be willing to be in it 100% if I need to, be willing to assimilate, be part of another country, and have that option before I'm too old and it's too late. And that's the thing that I had to wait. So really, my foundational skills in both weighting risk, evaluating real life threats, and coming up with rational solutions to those threats are why I decided to leave. Now, that might not be the right decision for everyone. I'm not saying run and flee like your hair is on fire. This was something I thought about for a number of months earlier this year. I planned out contingencies for how I would handle it, places I could go, and I had very rational, calm conversations with people in my industry and with my employer, et cetera, about what I was going to do. And I will tell you, if this is something that you're thinking about casually, first of all, think about it very rationally. I have 2 4th-degree black belts in martial arts. I served in the military across 2 wars. I have 3 degrees. I am pretty well renowned in this field, and I will tell you, this is the hardest thing I've done in my entire life. It's been incredibly challenging. Some parts of it have been really dehumanizing. It's expensive. It's going to set me back financially. It's going to set me back in my career. But knowing all those things and being able to step back and risk model and threat model and think about the real likelihood of various contingencies are why I was able to make a good plan. And then I need my forensics organizational plan as well. How am I going to handle finances? How am I going to handle taxes? How am I going to handle the finances to move? What is my timeline? Who do I need to call on what day? How do I show up for the appropriate appointments on time? What's my plan to be able to stay? Getting to another country is very much only one tiny percentage of the battle. If you really want to have a permanent option to live somewhere else, that's much, much more challenging. And that means in most cases that you want to have multiple paths to permanent residency wherever you're going to go for stability in a unstable and increasingly unstable world. So that's just some points of consideration. The process is long. Whatever route you take, it's not something you can just throw your hair at overnight and hope to work. This is like 6 months to a year process minimum. If you're looking at birthright citizenship, if you have that option, that's usually over a year in applications anywhere in the world. If you're looking at skilled worker visas, that's going to require skills assessments. It's going to require you dig up years of pay stubs. You're going to have to go on parchment and get all of your transcripts since the beginning of time, all your tax forms. You're going to have to get not just birth certificates, but you're going to have to go to your state to have them notarized as well at the state level. I think that's apostilles. You're going to have to get all of that stuff pulled together for your applications. And then you're probably going to need things like tons of reference letters too. And they'll have to be in a specific format. So there's a ton of stuff you need to compile. You should be talking to a lawyer. You should know realistically what your plans are given your finances and your age and your qualifications. This is something that the best time to have been planning for it, if you want to leave tomorrow, was like a year ago. But the next best time is tomorrow, if that's an option you want to have. And again, I'm not telling you politically whether it's right to stay or leave. I made my own risk assessment as a queer person, as somebody who's faced some threats, personal threats over that in the recent history and have been felt unsafe where I live. But if you're in that situation, a lot of research is key. So let's go back to the analytical incident response skills, the differ skills. Build your spreadsheets, build out your risk matrices, really quantify risk without the feelings involved, and think about all the people and the parts that are involved in it. Think about timeframes, talk to experts, just like you would in an incident response investigation. And from a crisis management perspective, trust your gut, but also back it up with lots of evidence and facts. So if you have a bad feeling about things, do trust that you probably have a reason to have a bad feeling. But try to figure out using evidence what is causing that bad feeling, whether it's rational, and what the weighting of that risk really is. So all of those skills from digital forensics and incident response can play into your decision to make a major life decision, like moving to another country. And that was my decision-making process. Thank you for your time. I think this was an important topic to talk about right now for some of the audience. If you want to talk about it more, you know how to reach me, Hacks for Pancakes on all social media.
Yeah, I have to tell you on the scale of things, on the scope of what I've seen people that had to go through recently. I'm not really risking that much. I'm not really standing out anything. So, but I get hate. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Our society. Oh my gosh. Social media. That's what it's founded on, is this hate. And these are just a small little sampling of some of the hate that I've dealt with. These are just all comments from YouTube. And it's like, and one of the funny ones is like, it's like, this is so adorable. It's like, I'm available for hire if anyone wants to take this arrogant bleep out of the loop. And I'm like, oh, that's adorable. I survived my first murder attempt when I was 10. The second one when I was 17. 2 different people, 2 different methods. Mother, if you want smoke, I'm here. Okay? It's like keyboard warriors don't frighten me. It's like I will say everything that I need to say to your face. You don't have to, like, if you don't like what I'm saying, it's like you can correct me. If you think that what I've done is wrong, correct me. If you think what I'm doing is wrong, we can step outside of an event. Okay. I'm not that adorable sometimes. And you get all these people and you see all these horrible things. Feminism ruins everything, including hackers. I've never seen this many virtue signalings per minute in my entire life. Dude is really desperate. Oh my. And you know what? I have to tell you, it's like, these are bad. These aren't nice. These, I do expect a better class of haters. I mean, these people just motivate me. It's like, it's not the same. I exist out of spite, I'm that petty. It's like, I literally, when I showed those two hateful comments, those two hateful people at the very beginning, I was literally close to ending my existence. That's how bad it's been lately. And they helped keep me going. They helped where none of my friends, because I don't reach out when you don't ever reach out when you're at your worst. It's like, that's when you're silent. It's like, no, those two comments, man, it's like, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't kill myself today because then they're going to think that I'm dying because of what they said or that I was hiding something or if I truly was a fraud. They literally kept me going. Kudos. So even seeing all these things and all these things that people say, I couldn't exist one day as a woman on the internet, especially on social media. Oh my God. The worst curse for a person on social media and being technical is to be attractive and intelligent and witty. You can't have that. We've got to tear that down. They don't know their place. So we got to call them ugly. We got to let them know that that's how bad they are. We got to let them know why they're wrong. We got to know that they're pretending. We got to let them know why they don't deserve the spot that they've got, why they're a DI hire, why they're only here because of their looks, why they're only play acting, why they're only cosplaying a hacker, why they don't really know anything. They're just trying to get things for views and likes. Because otherwise we would have to understand that other people that don't look like us or me are more capable than I am. And when you see people that don't look like you, that are more successful and more capable, then you could be at fault. Maybe you are doing something wrong. No, it's that person. It's got to be that person who doesn't deserve it. So keep it up. It's like, this fuels me. It's like, and I'm okay with that. It's like I said, I am scared. I'm not as scared as losing my home and having to move to another country. I'm not that scared. But we forget courage is not being the absence of fear. Courage is being afraid and still doing the right thing. And if you didn't understand it from that video, how terrifying that was for them, then you weren't really paying attention. And we need to understand that tolerance for each other. I don't hate any of those people who said those things. I don't wish ill on them. I don't. I mean, to be honest, it's hard to even remember them. It's like I have object, and I don't get vengeful. I get forgetful. It's like, but I don't hate them. It's like they're willfully ignorant, or they're just ignorant, or they're just mean, or someone's hurt them. And so their only way that they can react is to hurt others. I learned in my 20s a very important lesson. I was abused and traumatized every single way that you can imagine. Yes, all of them. It was all horrible. It was all terrible. It was all traumatic. Okay. And in my 20s, I had to decide something. Do I become the monster I was raised to be? Or do I become the person who stops the monsters from harming others? And I just made that simple decision. I'm going to stop the other monsters. I'm not going to become one. So many people find it easier to be the monster. We use our monsters and we use our hate and our fear to make people others, because we can't feel like we belong and that we're right about something, or that we're righteous without there being an other. There has to be an other for us to hate, to blame. The reason why our problems exist can't be because of us. It has to be because of someone else. So instead of trying to help others, it's like, let's them suffer. Ronald Reagan, a great Republican icon, who was a president that did accomplish quite a few things, and defeating Russia was one of them. And the Iron Curtain made it fall. Said we can't help everyone, but everyone can help someone. Why have we lost that in this society? It's like, because I want to tell you right now, effing Democrats are effing pissing me off so much right now. Democrats who talk about, hey, oh, I'm so open and I'm so woke and I'm so compassionate for everybody else. They are ridiculing and they are mocking people that are suffering right now. I want you to understand. I hope this administration succeeds. It's like, because you know what happens when this administration succeeds? Hopefully, the way it's supposed to work is our country succeeds. I live here. I want my country to prosper. I want my country to do better. I don't hate a person or an official so much, and I don't idolize them so much that their existence is what's all encompassing and important. And I hope they fail. And I hope they go down, even though it's going to cost me something. I'm going to make them suffer too. They're going to fail. No. That is just so destructive on everybody's parts. I want our country and our people, for America to succeed. And that brings us to compassion. And it's like, we should not be seen. It's like, it should not be seen as repudiation of religion, like I've seen recently. It's like, that's the reason why, because we're in this country, I included several other religions' versions of what it means to be compassionate. It's like, that shouldn't be a thing. But when we're talking about the Bible, and as a Christian, I want to bring this statement to the fore. When you make people into labels, it makes them easier to hate, which makes it easier to blame them for your failings and misfortune, which leads to believing their lives don't count or matter. And that is a path we're on to right now. And one of the ways that we attack it is what's foreign, what is other. And I listen to Christian rap because I love Christian rap. And I love this quote from the lyrics from No Big Deal. You don't know Jesus till you see him in your enemy. People who profess to be Christ-like, which is what Christian means, have never seen Jesus, because they can't see Jesus in their enemy, because they can't see their enemy as human. They can't see past the label of the enemy. And when we talk about foreigners, Exodus 22:21, do not mistreat or oppress a foreigner, for you were foreigners in Egypt. Matthew 2:14, Joseph arose and he took Jesus and Mary by night and departed into Egypt. And you're telling me Christians bullied this child, 11-year-old girl in Texas, because she was an immigrant. So she killed herself. I'm a Christian, and I say with my full chest that the Savior I pray to is a brown-skinned, undocumented immigrant who's a political refugee who fled to Egypt. That's something we forget when we talk about our faith. But that's who I pray to. So now let's end at this, and I apologize for the length. I've not done this one before, and also being online, I just keep going, and I do apologize for it. I'm not stopping, but I do apologize for it. And let's get back to what hacking is, because we have the power to be so many amazing things in the world. So why not first choose to be kind? Because Mr. Rogers, he saw a problem. He saw how we treated each other. I never got to see Mr. Rogers in my young life before my 20s. My life was not a Mr. Rogers neighborhood kind of life. I honestly didn't know about this guy until afterwards. And I didn't have role models on how to be a good person, because I'm not a good person. Please don't mistake me for a good person. I am a bad person who has learned to make logical choices that are not natural to me, that are not first instinct. I make logical choices to be good, to do better and be better. I'm not just naturally good where that's just what I come to immediately. I had to learn it from people like him that showed me what it was like to be a good human. People like Kaminsky and FX, Major Malfunction, and DT, who showed me what it was like to be a good hacker. That's what I had to learn, because it didn't come naturally to me. And I still struggle with it. But I choose to help. I choose to be better, because Mr. Rogers saw a problem about how we treated each other. And he came up with one of the best hacks this world has ever seen. He created a show that instead of talked about it, he showed it. He exemplified it. When a blind girl sent in a letter about inquiring about his goldfish that he fed, because sometimes he would not remember to tell people or say anything because it's only for sighted people. He never said that he was feeding the goldfish. And then after that letter, every episode afterwards, he made sure to say that he was feeding the goldfish. Because of one girl who was blind, who saw that show and was worried about it. He took that extra step, not because it was required, not because she was an advertiser. It's because it was the right and kind thing to do. That's hacking. That's all I got. Sorry for the delay. This went way over. And I promise you right now, one of the things I'm going to do is shorten the first part of the talk a little bit more. So, because it's the least important part of the whole talk. But thank y'all for staying around.
Thank you. That was amazing.
For real, that was awesome.
That is definitely a talk that should be talked more often.
Seriously.
As a person that I am an immigrant, I am Hispanic, and you might say that I'm a little bit darker color. I have feel and seen people reject and do things like that. And I never let that take me down or do anything. I just keep going. You know, many times when I speak, like, oh, you know, you got an accent. I say, yes, one of these days I'm going to invent something that will put closed captions right underneath my mouth. But in the meantime, you're just going to hear me talking that way. And
exactly.
So hearing it this way, and seeing somebody actually passionate about it is amazing. And quite honest, I take a lot more respect for the females because they go through more than us as a man too. Like even though I seen it, I'm still a man. I don't get treated the way they get treated.
Exactly. And it's the perception. And I look at this is one of the one things that I wish more people would understand. Every person that I have met in person or online, I've never seen who they are. I've never seen what they really look like. That's one of the things I think we forget. If you close your eyes, honestly, if you close your eyes and imagine for a second who you are and what you look like, that's not what's in the mirror. What you imagine yourself to look like, what your consciousness, your soul, your spirit, how you envision yourself is not what's the meat robot looks like. Our consciousness, our spirit is inside this meat robot. And that's who I'm talking to. I'm not talking to your elbow. I'm not talking to your arm. I'm not talking to your brain, the co-pilot. It's like, you know, the one that takes care of all the automatic systems, because no one's thought about breathing during this conversation, but now everybody's taking a breath real quick because they're catching it now because I said it. That's the automatic pilot. Our consciousness is the pilot that is running this meat robot. So why do I give a about what your paint job of your meat robot is, or what the plumbing is, or what attachments you put on it or taken off it, or accessories that you've added? Because I'm not talking to the robot. I'm talking to the pilot. I'm talking to the consciousness I'm never going to see. That's who I'm talking to.
And I just got to add from the beginning on a lighter note, your deaf speech without hearing aids in is perfect. I have a deaf brother, and I was amazed. You sound so legit with that. I just had to throw it in there. You amazed me with that. I'm like,
I lost my hearing. I lost my hearing about 4 years ago. Not all of it. I'm partially deaf now. So now I use the funniest thing is never listen to rap music at full volume in an enclosed windows and then have airbags deploy. It does not work out well. Airbags deploy at 170 decibels. I found out the hard way. So not pleasant. But what I did was, as soon as I realized that it's like they were going to give me hearing aids, I immediately like, well, I need one that's got a USB-C charger on it because I want to be able to hack people with it. That's the first thought I came up with about having hearing aids. And the other funniest thing is that those hearing aids I never use. I use Apple AirPods. Whenever you see me with my AirPods in, and especially when I'm at a conference, I'm not listening to stuff. It's like when I'm in regular, I'm in full autistic mode. It's like I've got them on noise canceling. But when I'm at a conference and I've got all my jewelry on in full character, then I've got them in hearing aid mode. So I can actually hear all the conversations, which is way overstimulating. But it's like, but still, it's like that way I can have conversations. But I only use those hearing aids when I'm robbing somebody, which is hilarious.
Off-topic question. What do you ride?
A Riker. I used to ride a Riker, which is an amazing bike, but I upgraded to a, well, I didn't upgrade. I still like the Riker better, but I've got a Can-Am Spider now because it's bigger and heavier on the thing. And because I've gone to New Orleans on it, I've ridden it to Oklahoma City from Houston. So it handles 8-hour, 12-hour rides pretty well. The Spider does. The Riker is way more fun. I have to do 3 wheels now. I got when I was riding 2 wheels about 25 years ago or something like that. No, 30 years ago. I'm old. I got a drunk driver took me out on 2 wheels. And so my left leg's not the greatest. And then when I was in Saudi Arabia, a driver, while I was crossing a crosswalk, literally all the way up onto the windshield, knocked me down and stuff. It was like, and that leg was like, okay, that was the one. I've been hit 5 times by cars while on foot. I mean, 3 of them were on accident. So was that one. So it was not bad. but it left me out pretty bad. So I'm glad I'm just doing 3 wheels now.
Wow, that's a heck of a story.
My life's not normal. It's like I got a lot of interesting things a lot of interesting stories. Some are interesting in the cool way, and some the Chinese curse kind of way. May you live in interesting times. It's like it's a little bit of, got a little bit of everything. It's all weird, but weird luck is not always good luck. It's just weird.
I've got to kind of throw it out there. I'm going to say that you are one of the best people to approach in any conference or just randomly if you don't even know anybody. What is your persona when you have somebody who walks up to you who you don't know at all and they want to hug or they want to just say hi or whatever? How do you handle that in that situation? Because I know that you're very sought after at some of these conferences, and I teased you when you were in town the last time, and I said that you were DEF CON royalty, but in a way you kind of are. A lot of people seek you out because you're a mental rock or something that some people look out to and say hey, this is a guy I look up to and something that I want to be that type of person. How do you handle when you're just kind of out of place and somebody comes up to you and then they want to be all in with you?
I learned, once again, I had to learn how to do these things. Major malfunction. When I first went to DEF CON 12, I was an idiot. I didn't know really what the hacking community was. I always wanted to belong. I wasn't diagnosed being on the full TISM. I just knew that I was a bad guy, and I was a weirdo, and I was trouble. But I wanted to fit in. I wanted people to like me so bad, and I didn't know. I just tried to when you're masking and when you're autistic, it's and I learned this. This was one of the reasons why I'm so good at what I robbing people, because since I was little, normal people terrify me. Humans, the way they interact and the way that they talk is so unnatural and so not right. But when I was little, my life depended on how they reacted and looking at their facial expressions and body language and understanding what they meant, not what they said. I had to learn how they were operating and what those twitches or what those things meant. And so I learned to adapt to become what I thought people were expecting. It's and when I go, and so when I went to DEF CON 12, I was stupid because I couldn't conform to everyone at the same time. And I was trying too hard, and I just made a fool of myself. It was not a great experience, but I met this legend, Major Malfunction. It's Adam Laurie and FX Felix Linder. And it's and I met them, and even beyond my cringe, beyond my stupidity, beyond my embarrassing behavior, they gave me time. They didn't just let me get a selfie of them and walk away. That's why when I'm at a conference now, whenever when someone asks for a selfie, I always try to stop and talk to them a little bit, because I had so much regret. I got pictures of HD Moore and Spoon M and all those guys. I was there when they released a Metasploit, royalty. It's I met them there when they were partying at the OSVBD party with Jake Coons and all them. It's I was there. I got a selfie with them. Didn't have any conversations about what they were doing or what they developed. When the Shmoo group, Bruce Potter and them, were dropping this awesome Wi-Fi robot and the Yagi sniper rifle, yeah, I got some selfies. I didn't have conversations with them. I didn't get more accepting. I just took from it. So when I'm at a conference, especially DEF CON is the one conference I think I actually work. because most conferences I have to be on character. Whenever you see me with all my jewelry on, that's Jayson E Street. That's that's beyond my social mask. That's me being that outlandish, buffoon guy that can do all those things and does all those cool things people like, and can talk in good words and stuff, and get on things. That's my mask there. It's like, that's, yes, that's my persona. That's the stuff, but that's not me. I have to project that. And that takes a toll. But when I go to DEF CON, as soon as I get on the plane, I have to be Jayson E Street. It's like, because I'm 12 miles off the strip at a Walmart, someone might know me. And that's not a complaint. But I guarantee you this, no matter how bad my day is, no matter how bad of an experience, and I've had some earth-shatteringly bad days at con in Vegas, it doesn't matter. Because even though I'm experiencing that, for that person that's coming up to me, that may be the first time they've actually got to meet me. I'm not allowed. I don't want that experience to be bad. I'm not allowed to have a bad experience for them. I'm there for them. This is when I give back to the community. There is no bad experience or one-off where it's like, oh, I was just too angry or too agitated. I'm going to be there for them. And I'm going to listen to them, and I'm going to take. And there are times where, yes, where I'm in a hurry and I have to go somewhere because it's pressing. But I will let them know, hey, find me afterwards. Come up and talk to me. And I accept all the hugs. And I've had people ambush hug me. I do all kinds of hugs. When I'm at home, my children know to like tap me on the shoulder because I'm not too much into physical contact all the time. But when I'm Jayson E Street, mother, we're all hugging. Okay. It's like, because I want people to understand that they're accepted, that there is no level. I'm just another hacker. We're all the same. Everybody at a conference should be approachable, on stage or not. We're all humans. We're all hackers. We're all there to learn. I learn there. Do not put anyone, and especially myself, on a pedestal. We are there all trying to learn. We're all there to network and to meet people and not to be alone, to feel like we're part of a group among the others, because we're usually the others, but here we can be the group. So that's why I do it. I will always try my best to have that first. And please always come up to me. Don't ever think, oh, well, he's probably exhausted. No. When I get back home, I'm in bed for 3 days, usually after DEF CON. That's fine. But when I'm at con, no, there is no bad time. I'm there. There's never like, oh, I don't want to inconvenience you. Approach me. Always. That's not me saying it to sound nice. That's a fact. Because we're all approachable at con. We should all make ourselves approachable. We should all accept everyone that wants to interact with us. Yes, and definitely the Lonely Hackers Club. It's like those people, verbal, they're amazing people. It's like, and we have to understand that sometimes I love being alone around everyone. It's like that's always fun. No one wants to be lonely, but yeah, there's a lot of people that are like, I want to be alone, but with you. I want to be with all you, but I also like to be, but alone with all of you. And that's okay too. And they provide spaces like that. That's one of the things I love about DEF CON, is that DEF CON is not a hacking conference. It is a meeting place in the desert every year for all the different tribes to show up and for all of us to celebrate and to learn and to share and to educate and be inspired. It stopped being a conference a long time ago. There's over 30,000 people. People are like, oh, it's too big. No, it's not. If you're a Wi-Fi hacker, you're not going to DEF CON. You're going to the Wi-Fi hacker tribe, village. You're learning there. You're meeting there. You're spending your time there. It's like, and then you'll go and experience and maybe look at another tribe and see what they're doing. And maybe realize, oh, wait, I'm into this as well. And they'll accept you for that. That's how it works. That's why DEF CON is so important. It's why DEF CON groups are so important. I don't have to agree with all the things that you agree with. You're still part of my tribe. You may not come from the same region that I am. You may not have the same moral code, same religion, same political leanings. You're still part of my tribe. That's it. We get so caught up in colors. I'm not white. I'm not a crayon in a Crayola box. My ethnic group, my sub-ethnic group, there's 3 ethnic groups as far as I'm concerned, 2 sub and 1 primary. My sub-ethnic group of geography, my geographical ethnic group, I'm Southeast Texan. Doesn't matter where in the world I meet you. If you got a Longhorn shirt on or Aggie shirt on and you know how to make fun of the Aggies, you're part of my tribe. You may not be part of all the other parts of my tribe, but you're part of my tribe. I got that in common with you. And if you're, either like a Christian or like liberal left or whatever, and I see you with an Obama shirt on somewhere in London, or I see you at a church in service, I'm like, oh, you're part of my tribe. You're not from where I'm from. You're not from my geographical ethnic group, but you're from my moral, social ethnic group. And I'm like, so we still have something in common. We're still part of something. And then my primary ethnic group, what I identified, my culture, who I am, and who I belong with, it's hackers. I go around the world. I've never met a foreigner. And I'm always around my tribe. I always find hackers wherever I go. I always find people of my tribe. Ethnicity shows us how we're together. Race was a made-up construct in the 1600s, so the Danish and the Puritans would feel better about owning other people, and that was made to separate and take us apart. So that is why I'm a hacker, and that is why I always love going and seeing my tribe. And DEF CON is the big tent pole for all the different tribes of all the sub-tribes to meet at. And when you go to a local DEF CON group, you're meeting part of your tribe. They've only met online maybe. But now you realize you share another ethnic group besides just being hacker, because they're in the same city as you are. And it's like, and that's why that's important. I have to be told when to stop, because I will keep going until someone tells me, okay, Jayson, we're done. You can stop now.
We don't have an official cutoff time, so you're good to keep going.
Uh-oh. Okay. So if people keep talking or keep asking, I'm going to keep going.
I am keep talking. I'll keep learning.
Okay. I'm going to grab a Diet Pepsi real quick. So talk amongst yourselves or ask a question, because I'll still be able to hear you.
Cool. Hey, Callie. How are you?
Fantastic. How are you? Is my mic actually coming through?
Yep, it's coming through.
Oh, hey.
Ooh.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Wait, so Cali is in another part of the world because there's a lot of lighting in there.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm all the way in Sacramento, California.
Oh, it's still daytime. Okay,
Yeah.
that's why.
We get to have sunshine. It's great.
You guys don't suffer from. Well, no, you guys also do daylight savings, but it's only you guys.
Arizona does it.
How many people were affected? How many people were affected this week by daylight savings? I mean, I'm guilty of that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about daylight saving time. Usually I'm in such a hellscape anyway. It's like you sleep when you sleep. So especially a lot of people that work remotely, it's like it's not as effective as people that still have a schedule they have to get up. You got children, yeah,
yeah. See, I got children, man, and I go to the office. I don't know. I don't know what's to go. I yet to experience remote work. I don't know what that is.
Oh, I mean,
Not even,
I
not
still
even,
have to
not
get up at
even
a
through,
certain time.
not even through COVID. In COVID,
Yeah.
that's actually when I work more at the office. But yeah, my regular routine is go take the oldest one to school and then head to the office. So yeah.
Well, trust me, I honestly, I understand about remote work, but I will tell you, man, sometimes I really do feel so isolated, and it's like, and I feel like I wish I could go back to work and meet people and steal candy from that guy. I forgot. I don't even remember what his name was. Steal candy from his bowl that he had on his desk and just talk to people and just wander around like I'm working. I missed that a little bit. It's like, so, but yeah, it's hard not having a schedule. It's like just knowing that like you got deadlines or you've got like meetings that you got to get to. But with children, it's like, especially with pets, because cats and dogs don't know daylight saving time. They're like, where the f is my food? You know, it's like, this is when you're supposed to feed me. You're supposed to be feeding me. So, yeah. So people that have those things, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, and then come home and just to give you an example, this is my overtime right now.
Oh my gosh, that's not
I'm in
fun.
full construction mode, tearing
Wow.
down a whole room, building a new room in office mode. As you can see, my
Wow.
fiber, I had to move my fiber right there,
Yep.
temporary. I running
Yeah.
my fiber temporary to my mornings and anything that way because that was my office. So
as a hacker, I have to like plead with you, please, while you're still building, remember you have a perfect opportunity right now to put a hidden panel in. Okay.
Oh God.
Why do you need a hidden panel? No reason. Should you have one? Yes.
and I
It's like
go back in a supply box, and you
Put
should
it
always have your go bag ready and your merge supply ready
Yep.
too.
and put in a
Yes.
Yep.
skeleton in there as well.
Yes.
Yep.
He's
I've
cute.
had hidden rooms. I've had hidden doors that would block off a certain room. And one of the first things I did when I brought people over to my house I would show them my hidden room, because what's the use of having a hidden door if you can't show everybody your hidden door? And hello, offspring. I see someone that made a child process. Hello.
That's the little hacker. That's actually the one that has gone with me to conference and and has her own lock pick set and can pick a lock and has her own YouTube channel, and she talks GRC and has gone to some other conference to do lock picking. She loves
Oh,
lock
yeah.
picking. So
Nice.
yeah,
Everybody
that's
was born a hacker. It's like I tell people, you go around a 3-year-old, you've been around a hacker. Why is it this way? Why is it that way? What's that? What's that? That's hacking. Just a defining and just a question and just seeing something differently than others. That's hacking. So
I
yeah.
actually was really surprised how I took it to this conference. It was a B-size and another conference the day before, and in one day, the guys Fox pick, they taught her how to pick a lock. And keep in mind, I never actually taught her what I do or what I know.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, she's like, "Dad, let me show you something that I learned." And she actually picked a lock faster than I was picking locks that day, because she was thinking differently. And it gives you the perspective that it's like sometimes we get so stuck in our problems that we forgot to think differently. And that's where that's where the kids are really good, because their brain is not developed to think the way we in core develop. They think differently.
Or the way society is trying to conform it. I tell people, you stay a hacker not by losing your curiosity, but our peers and our family and institutionalized education tries to stomp that out of you. And if you still manage to keep that 3-year-old curiosity and inspiration and innovation to your teens and to your 20s, then yes, you're definitely a hacker. You've definitely maintained it. That's the key thing about it. Scientist, artist, it's like all these people who do different things. That's just people who've managed to survive the first 20 years of their life and still are able to ask questions and question everything.
That's right. It's just fun. So my wife is actually a mental health counselor, and hackers and mental health counselors are not so different.
Right.
And the reason why I say that is because when I see her analyzing her data charts and her things, she looking for those anomalies and people's behaviors and adjust to do their plans. We look the anomalies in the system to actually find out what's going on and fix those errors. So I see a lot of psychology into hacking.
Oh yes, it's like because you're trying to decode behavior. You're decoding. I'm not good at social engineering. I just have had to learn how humans work, and I utilize that skill against them. That's what I do. It's not science or magic or skill. It's just understanding how humans operate. And yes, hacking is just seeing the world and then being able to utilize it. People think it's like one of the best hackers was the lady who created the mRNA vaccine for COVID, because she decided and she had the thought, I'm going to use this technique that everyone said that was like outdated. It was like it couldn't work, it wasn't viable, and I'm going to keep working on it. And they put her in a basement because like, oh, your research is stupid. It's like it's not what we're going with. We're going with this avenue. This is the way you make vaccines. And she was like, no, I want to do it this way. And then she got someone. She was able to convince this guy to come in and like help mansplain it with everybody, and she was able to get that out there. But that's hacking because she saw something that everybody was saying, oh, that's not worth it. That's not the way to do it. And she's like, yeah, but this is the way I'm going to do it. I think this is the way we can make it work.
Oh, in the chat a couple minutes ago, and you even say that you go when you had your AirPods, you go in your own mode. How much of the neurodivergent community you find to be hackers and you find to be in cybersecurity, and what's your take on that? Because I can tell you one thing, I didn't get diagnosed until I was old, and it makes a lot of sense why I struggled so much in school.
I didn't get diagnosed until 2021. So yeah, I was old when I got diagnosed. These are usually the headphones I'm usually wearing because I don't like being overstimulated with sound. I don't like loud sounds. I'm doing my best right now to be social, Jason. When I'm not masking at all, my default mode is nonverbal. I have certain tics, and I've been doing some of them off camera where you can't see them. It's like, and also my speech patterns are different, and my walking style is actually like distinctly different than when I'm in Jayson E street mode, or even when I'm in social Jason mode. I think right now I'm in social Jason mode. I'm not full Jayson E street. But it's like I'm not talking about like schizophrenic, like I'm a different person. I'm talking about the persona that I have to put on to make myself comfortable. It's like to be able to communicate with normal people. I was robbing a bank last year on site, and my boss was with me. And it was so funny because we're celebrating because I got to successfully rob them. And I also taught them, and they did really good too. They caught me too. They did a good job as well. But I was celebrating at this restaurant, and it was like a wacky themed restaurant. It was really funny and it was really fun. And I had an amazing time. But halfway through the meal, my mask slipped. because I was tired. I was masking the whole day, and I was just tired, and I just let it slip because I was feeling comfortable. And so I slipped, and I was just Jayson. And my boss, I kid you not, he looks at me all concerned, like after about 5 minutes or something, I guess, after I'd done it. And Jayson, are you okay? We did good. You seem upset. It's like, we did good. It's like, you should be happy about this. And I'm like, where did that come from? And then I realized, oh, I'm sorry. It's like, I'm just no longer masking anymore. I'm not pretending to be a normal person to make you more comfortable with my discussion and conversation. I'm sorry, my bad. It's like I forgot to pretend to be a normal person again. It's like, because that's every neurodivergent person's a hacker because of survivability, because you had to survive in this environment that was not designed for you. You had to find hacks. You had to find ways around it. You had to find ways to survive. So every person that is neurodivergent is a hacker. They may not be in this community. They may not have attached themselves to computers as their focus, because we were hacking electricity in the 1900s. And if you don't think Tesla, who loved pigeons, like really, it's like wasn't autistic, but that mother hacked electricity. He lit, I'm high school dropout. He lit 200 light bulbs 25 miles away using the conductive energy source of the earth. That's a hacker. That's a hacker. And that was someone that was autistic AF. Okay. It's like we're all, I mean, if you're a hacker, it's like you don't have to be autistic. And if you're autistic, you don't have to consider yourself a hacker. But there is a lot of overlap.
If somebody wants to get into like what you do, where you go on site and you are basically trying to get penetration test a building or penetration test humans or penetration test like a business, how, like, what are the first steps that you would suggest to somebody to get into that? Because it doesn't seem like necessarily the most traditional step forward for like somebody doing like security engineering or somebody who's doing penetration testing or something like that. Like jumping to that actual on-site step, kind of like a whole different ballgame. It seems like how do you generate those first leads, and how do you like actually cultivate a business around that?
First off, I heard mostly everything you said. I was so distracted by Hobbs on the shelf and so much need of Hobbs, like you wouldn't believe. Like he was waving at me. I don't know if you saw him, but he was waving at me, and he was totally distracting me, doing his little dance. I don't know if you saw that either, but yeah,
we're good.
Oh my gosh.
He's pretty awesome. My sister-in-law made this for me.
Man, that is awesome. Okay, sorry. Now back to your sister-in-law actually loves you. That's amazing, because only
accurate.
Someone that
accurate.
It's like that's just awesome. So
I think Hobbs had a massive ADHD too in the spectrum, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that too. I don't have ADHD. Squirrel. What? Okay. But now, to go back to your question, that is so amazing. It's like never start on red team. My biggest advice for anybody that wants to go red team is to always start on the blue team. I started doing red team and on-site engagements very simply. I started on the blue team. And then I got inspired by watching a person who gave this really amazing talk, who started my career in this stuff, who is a horrible person, and I don't like, and I don't respect, and that's why I'm not going to say his name, because it's like I don't need to give him the shout out. But he's amazing at what he does. I will not deny the fact that he is very technical, very good at what he does. And I'm not going to deny that he's very powerful and supportive of the community and helpful. I just think he's a garbage human. So that being said, I went back after being inspired by him and seeing what he did and thinking that, because when I used to do physical security, I always looked at things when I was on site like, oh, there should be another camera there. I could walk in that way. I always looked at it like as a hacker. I always looked like, how would I rob this place first if I was going to protect it? So when I got into blue teaming and I started doing that, I always built my defenses like I literally would stop people. I literally have put people in jail because I realized, yeah, see, I would have done it that way too. That's why I caught you. And we were a bank, so that has repercussions in certain countries, when they come over and do bad things. It was like, so I did things unconventional that way. So I went to my boss, and this is how everybody should do it. Start 2 or 3 years, have 2 or 3 years doing blue team, learning how the bureaucracy works, learning how inner office politics works, learning how things are funded, how things are needed to be done through management to get changes done. Learn the process of what a company is actually protecting. And then it's very simple. Go to your supervisor, go to your management and say, hey, I've been building all these defenses. Wouldn't it be cool if I tested it out? Because you wouldn't have to spend more money because I would be on the job anyway. Let me try to break in to these places. Let me try to do an on-site thing because we haven't really tested that. I've been learning and I've got this thing. The worst thing that will happen is that we'll have an educational moment and people will learn that these things can happen. And that's what I did to the bank that I worked at. I went in and I told them that. They gave me 10 banks in another state to go after. After the 4th one that I did consecutively successful, they said, okay, you can stop now. And that's when I realized one important thing. I'm really good at robbing banks. And so that's what started it. And then I started red teaming. And that was also a problem because I have very low self-esteem. And I always felt like a fraud. And the person who inspired me to do the red teaming stuff was one of the people that was bullying me. When I talk to my children in school about bullies, his name always comes up. He's my go-to example of what it means to be a bully. And it's like, and so I had this whole self-esteem where I had to go and punch people in the face and see if they have a plan, that toxic masculinity that you find in most red teamers. And it wasn't, and so I would go in and I thought if I didn't go in and break in successfully or destroy them or punch them in the face, I wasn't doing a good job. They weren't going to see that I did a good job. It's like I had to break them to be good because that's what they wanted. They paid me to break them. And then in 2016, I had an epiphany, and it was the last red team I ever did. And that's when I started this whole thing. I started the whole field of security awareness engagements. It's like, call it purple team, call it whatever. What I did was I was breaking into a federal government facility. And I was at this one point where I'm not going to explain the whole thing because I've said it in different talks, where I walked behind a person and I piggybacked into the room. And this woman, the look she gave me as I went through, I know body language, I know facial expressions. And literally, I knew she was like, nope, she was not happy with that. Didn't matter. I went immediately to my left. Always, whenever you're being pursued or you're walking or you're doing anything, always go left because human nature is to tend to the right. So by instinct, I always turn left. And so I went left into the first office I saw, compromised the first machine. Woohoo! I won. I punched him. I broke in. I got root. I'm doing my happy root dance now. And then I go across the hall to compromise another person. Because if you punch one, why not punch a couple more to show that you did it? As I was walking across the hallway, I saw the lady down the hallway with this other lady at a desk. and they were both standing up, and they were both looking at me, and I could tell you almost verbatim what they were saying, and it wasn't pleasant things about me, I assure you. And so I go into that office, and I compromise that machine. Woohoo! I've gotten 2 people to plug in my device and compromise themselves. And I walk out. Now I have to walk that way down that hall. And I get to the door. And that's the door that I came in from. And I have a choice that I didn't even realize was there. But I had an epiphany. I knew she was regretting her decision. I knew she wanted to report me and she wanted to do the right thing. And I know that she failed. She didn't let me, she let me in. She failed. The test was over. She lost. But I could just walk out the door and I won. I succeeded. I escaped uncaught. I did a great job. And then I thought, what if I go forward and I let her catch me and I let her redeem herself? And then the lesson is no longer about how they get a memo 3 months later that they failed an assessment and a test, but I give them a teachable moment and I teach them and I let them succeed and I let them learn from their mistake and I let them feel a positive outcome of the engagement and feel like they did something positive and that they learned a lesson instead of lost and failed a test. But now they're taught. And so I went forward, walked by them, and with only, the audacity that a guy like me can have, hi, how y'all doing? And just kept walking past them. It's like, went into another office, compromised the lady's computer. About 2 minutes later, instantly regretted my decision when the 6 foot, 5,000 foot ex-Marine Air Force muscle-bound humanoid came storming in like the beaches of Normandy, wanting to break me in half. And I'm like, I didn't even give him my forged get out of jail free card. I was giving him the original. I don't want you to be any more mad, sir. He was like, screw that noise. Who sent you? And I had to give him the name. So it's like he called the guy directly. And I had forged get out of jail free card and engagement letter with fake numbers that would like give me the authorization. No, he called directly. He did the right thing. That was horrible. But they learned a lesson. And from that day on, I guarantee every client that I go and I attack, I guarantee them that I will get caught. I guarantee, and I explain to every single client that I will most likely be successful. So therefore, it can't be considered a test, that it's a teachable moment, that I'm there to teach your employees about how these kind of attacks look like, because they've never seen them in real life. So I'm giving them that opportunity. You can't make it like you're testing them. I had one CEO of a company in another country insist that I do a phishing test to them, and that I had to be successful, and I had to report the names of the people so they could be disciplined. I was like, no, that doesn't work. I'm not there to test them. I'm there to teach them. It's like everybody would, no, I want this the way I need it to be. It's like, you can test one person or 100. I don't care. Mother, I always make people regret scope if you try to narrow me too much, okay? I will go by scope. I have yeah, that's one of my TISM superpowers. So I did exactly what he said. I targeted one person, went to the company's page, found this information about this person, did a reverse image lookup on the picture of him that was on the page, and then found out that on his Twitter that he was at a conference 3 months before, went to that conference website, found one of the speakers, assumed that guy's identity, sent him an email, supposedly from the speaker, saying, like we discussed at that conference 3 months ago, it was great meeting you, and we are interested in you being on the board of directors for our new initiative in your region. Here's the website. He clicked it within 12 hours. And yes, it was the CEO who hired me, who told me to write the names down of the employees that clicked the link. And it's like, and he never did it again. And it's like, he never hired me again. But just like this talk this year shows, there's more important things than a job. There's more important things than getting paid. It's like because you got to do what's right. And it's like, that was not going to be the lesson they needed to learn. He needed to learn the lesson that anybody could fall for these. How do you respond to them? How do you detect them? And have you encouraged your employees that when they make the mistake, they'll do the right thing because they're not afraid of repercussions because they were human?
Yeah,
and I also teach a class on that. Oh,
you bring a great topic. As a blue teamer and someone that actually had to do with the education of my users at my company, I went immediately. One of the things that I did is like, I'm not here to gotcha moment, but to teach you. Because I want to make sure that if something were to happen, you have the confidence to tell me. And it sort of paid off. There was not we could call it maybe an incident, compromise, not exactly, there was not leakage, nothing like that, but someone did fail on an email over a year ago, something like that, give their credentials, and they and the threat actor installed added an MFA to her account, and they were like, call me and say, hey, this just happened and I feel weird about it. And so we caught it right away, and we caught access, and everything was done super fast. But were that user being taught differently in the past, were that user maybe be reprimanded in the past, maybe they wouldn't have the audacity to be, hey, I feel weird about it. They probably would never have said something. So I think that you catch more bees with honey than with fire.
Well, and you do the most important thing. You've actually shown your team, your employees, that surprise, you're part of the security team. The security team does not look on you as a potential threat. You're part of the team. You're a team member of information security. Part of your job responsibilities is the safe and secure operation of the equipment that you are given by the company. Your job may be HR or accounting or whatever, but you were given a piece of company equipment, and your operation, just like if you were a delivery driver, the safe and secure operation of that vehicle or that laptop is the employee's job responsibility. So every employee's responsibility is to keep their system secure, and you don't look at them as potential threats or like future perps. You're looking at them as team members, as co-workers, as part of your team.
You're right. But then I'm going to give you the killer on the whole story. Then the user comes and tell me, hey, do you think I need to change my bank password?
Yeah. And that helps.
I'm like, wait, what did you just say? It's just like, yeah, I use the same password for my banking. I'm like,
and a lot of people do.
I'm like, yes.
A lot of people do.
And I mean, and we went through the whole education system and be like, there's a reason why we don't mix the passwords, and work should be work, and your personal is your personal. And, we went through the whole education. But at the moment, even though the user did contact me and say, I feel weird about this, and this just happened, and we remediated right away. When the user say, do you think I should change my password for my banking? It just reminds me of how much we work with human beings.
Exactly. And how much it's a gas pipeline in the US went down because of password reuse. A defense contractor like 20 years ago went down because of password reuse. It's like those things happen. Dan Kaminsky went down one time for password reuse. It was one of the most hilarious ones too. It's like, and he was a good sport about it as well. It's like, but that happens. And, but one of the things is that we need to understand in information security is that I drive a car. or I drive my motorcycle and I can drive it really good. I've got the speeding tickets to prove it. You put a gun to my head and tell me to change the spark plugs, I'm dead. Just shoot me. I don't even know where to get those. Where are they? What kind of thing do you need to get those thingies out of the thing around the other thingies that's at? It's like, I know how the pedals work. If you force me, I might be able to program the radio and change the date and the presets, but I know how to operate the vehicle. I'm not an idiot. The car does what I want it to do. So a computer is not anything that everybody's supposed to know all about. It does what people want. It does their Excel. It does their email. All the other things, they have to be taught in ways that they understand. They're not stupid because they don't know how the computers and online security works. Just like a mechanic doesn't treat me like an idiot when I go up and I've done this, as it was making this blur, 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 sound every time I try, or there's this clunk. It's like when I'm trying to shift, it'll go, clunk, clunk. And I don't know if it's like grinding or whatever, but it's like this clunk. They don't look at me like I'm stupid. That's not the technical terms that you described, the problem that I'm having. But I'm not familiar with that technology, so I can't discuss it that way. I just know I need help. Same thing. Oh, you're almost saying something, Steve. Nope, not yet. Can you hear the words coming out of my mouth? Oh, that stupid mute button that's on the side of the mic always irritates me. That's what you get that's what we get for having fancy mics.
I think
I've literally had conversations.
Hold on. Mine
there we go.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we all know Jayson Street.
It was Hobbs. It was Hobbs. I saw Hobbs do it
the whole time. We all know Jayson Street, the bank hacker and the business owner. And by owner, I don't mean like owning businesses. Like,
yeah, there you go.
My question is what do you like to do on your free time hacking wise? So like for me, when I stay at a hotel, I like to see if I can get on the roof of said hotel. What is your personal hacking thing that you like to do when you're not on hours?
I would say one of the things that I do is I'm very big about trying to stay within the laws, because it's like, that's usually good. It's like they're usually there to protect people and keep people safe, or keep people under control. Depends. But it's like I like to do something where I call, like, sometimes I'll do adventure touring. It's like where I may wander. I will not break into a place. I will not lockpick into a place. I have wandered in through an open door or something like that and found myself in an ancient Roman ruins in the south of France once. Oops. It's like I have made myself and wandered around different places. I may have possibly bribed a police officer in Egypt, in Cairo, to let me through this one area that said no admits and stuff, and I asked if I could go in there and get some pictures real quick, and he said no. And then I looked at him, I was like, 10 pounds? And he was like, okay. And it's like, and then I got in. It's like, so I did some adventure touring. So I've done things like that. That's most of the stuff. I like to wander. I just like to see things that everybody, usually when you're going around a tour group, one of the things that you do is tour groups, they get into this hegemony of like, this is the way you're supposed to go. And so therefore they all follow the same thing and the same little pattern, because it always leads to the gift shop and there's cool things there. That's not what I do. I always see what direction the tour group goes, and then I go away from them. It's like, I know when I'm supposed to be at the bus, I'll be back at the bus when I'm supposed to be. I'm not going to be with that group. It's like, and so I have found some really interesting places in Thailand and in Cambodia going around and just not going with the group and just looking and exploring what they don't want to see. It's like what they're not trying to showcase.
I love that. Thanks.
No worries.
All right. I need to get dinner and start getting ready
this
for bed
is
over
running
here.
late. I
I
apologize.
love that you stayed so late for us, though. I'm like, and we still have a bunch of people here, so like I know that everybody is loving hearing from you.
Well, I
But
love being heard from every once in a while.
yay.
So thanks.
Yeah. And you're going to be back this summer for our DEF CON series. So
Yes.
that's exciting. If you didn't hear, or if you didn't know, we're doing a whole DEF CON series. We got Jason Street, we've got Jenny Dix, and we've got John Hammond. So it's going to be good.
Very cool.
Yeah. All right. So thank you
Thanks,
so much.
Edna.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you
Thank
everybody for
you.
coming.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank y'all for having me. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. This is amazing.
it's
Well,
been
I'm glad.
wonderful.
I'm glad y'all
Multitasking.
stayed. Thank y'all for your time.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye bye.